Now that was a good episode because this episode did an excellent job of throwing us conversations to justify why any of the tribes might lose the immunity challenge, although when you really thought about it, from my perspective, it seemed kind of obvious that Orange losing was a little less likely based on just what they were talking about. What they were talking about was just too simple, if you asked me. Not to say that it isn't something that we need to be thinking about down the line, especially since Omer still doesn't know that he lost his vote. So this really could impact what happens in the merge, assuming that it happens next episode. We'll see. But yeah, it seemed kind of obvious that Orange wouldn't lose, but the dynamics that were going on in green and blue definitely a lot more worthy of paying attention to them, especially since blue finally found their idol, and then Mike decides, what the heck, I'm going to activate mine for the first time. Well, try to activate his because he lost a vote regardless, although I really wouldn't be too surprised if future seasons change the rules so that you have to say a phrase every time you have a chance instead of him being able to stay quiet, because just something tells me that they're not going to be continuing to do that. But I could be wrong, who knows? So then that challenge, I was really hoping that Green would lose because one, I felt like that would be the most interesting tribal council, and number two, this would leave all three tribes at 444 with active idols, and then we've got those amulets, even though it's the opposite situation where the more there are in the game, the arguably less powerful they are. So it's going to be really interesting when what's his face, High and the black chick for the blue tribe, I want to say Dre, but I think that that's wrong. But it's going to be really interesting when they start conversing because they're arguably running everything on their respective tribes. So yeah, that's going to be really interesting. But I was really surprised at how much Omer was struggling at that rope puzzle, because it seemed like that he had a rhythm, but thankfully he finally managed to figure it out. And partially because Green couldn't get the slingshot done, Jonathan was able to catch up, even though I'm sure that he did not get those targets 1, 2, just no way. Like, those slingshots, it takes a little bit of effort to figure them out, and then also pulling them back. I'm pretty sure it's much tougher than it seems. Although I could have sworn some of the original slingshots on this show weren't that hard to work. I really need to rewatch Survivor Thailand Episode 6 Reward Challenge, because I think that's the first time they ever used a slingshot on this show. Right. But yeah, that was a relief that they lost that challenge. And then it was also nice to give Lydia a little bit more of a voice, because I wasn't really paying attention to her the first few episodes. And then how she and Roxroy, why do I always want to flip that second R and second O? I don't know why. Every time I make the tags for these videos, I always flip that. What's going on? But anyways, their reasonings for protecting their vote, it makes sense because they do kind of want to go for it, but when there's only two of them, you're a lot more likely to lose your vote, and if they end up getting a merge, it's definitely going to be a lot more beneficial for Roxroy because he could get lost, in the crowd a lot more. And then Lydia, yeah, she ended up on the chopping block the last time Green went to Tribal, but I don't know, just something tells me that might not happen again. I don't know. Sorry that I'm shaking the camera a little bit. It's kind of cold where I'm filming these. Right. So then it becomes Chanel or Daniel going, and there's pros and cons for getting rid of each of them, because Daniel, he's a weaker asset to the tribe, and appears to be a weaker person to keep in social dynamics, but at the same time, you definitely have heard people argue that somebody with his personality is good to keep around as a shield, but at the same time, Chanel, she's stronger in the challenges, and given how she already made one big mistake like this, how do you know that she won't make another one, even though, of course, depending on who's aligned with her, or what her decisions are for making that mistake, we'll see. But then at Tribal, somebody, we later learned that it was Chanel, actually threw away their vote, and I'm like, what the hell? Why on earth would you vote for Mike? Because Chanel and Daniel, they know that they're on the chopping block, and Mike obviously can't vote for himself. But Hai, assuming that I'm getting his name right, I know it's been mentioned a few times, he's the person that's orchestrating this. It makes no sense for him to throw his vote away, especially if the two people that are on the chopping block vote for each other. So I was initially looking at Lydia, but as they're doing the re-vote, and then I see how every vote that comes up for Daniel, I was like, well, there is a possibility that one of Chanel or Daniel threw their votes away, but I don't know. That seems kind of unlikely. Well, moment I saw that Lydia actually did vote for one of Chanel or Daniel during the first vote, I knew then by default one of them did have to waste a vote, so Chanel did. Ooh, maybe there's a mistake. We'll see. Right. So, really looking forward to what is most likely going to be the merge next episode. I don't watch the next time bit, so I have no idea. But if it ends up getting revealed to me, whatever. We've had tons of seasons where they start off at 18 and then they merge at 16. Redemption Island through Philippines last season. You can probably think of one more, I think, in there. Right. San Juan del Sur. Right. So, yeah. Definitely a boost that this season needed. It wasn't a huge boost, but I'm okay with it. And I'm definitely getting a lot better at remembering the names for these people. There's still a few that I'm going to have to learn, but it's okay. I mean, like, I've got a lot more in my mind now than I used to years ago when I was just a part-time college student working a pizza shop job late in the evening and had all kinds of time to where I could watch reality shows. I don't have that luxury anymore, but yeah, Survivor 2. You're doing pretty good, even though there's no way that you're going to be the answer to everything. Bad joke, see ya.